Good afternoon and happy Saturday. I'm looking rather windswept, aren't I? And I know I promised you this live a couple of days ago, but I ended up running an errand which took me 8 hours in the car. And I knew it was going to take me a while. I just realised how long it was going to take me and how tired I was going to feel. So I didn't get around to it. So apologies for that. But I'm here now. I'm here now. And I just want to share this final part of the intuition mini series. So here we are. Okay, we've covered clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. So we know how it feels, we know what it looks like, we know what it sounds like, and we know, we know, and that's the cognizance part. So this final part is not about any of those, and it's actually about being intuitive about what's going on around you and noticing, which is really picking up on what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what the messages are that are coming through, because really that is what's important, and it will come in the strangest of ways that you don't expect it's turn up. But usually when it turns up in the physical world, it's a confirmation of something you should be doing. I have often said that I no longer believe in coincidence, right? If something is showing up more than once in your life, or once in a short period of time, more than once I should say, it's telling you something, right? It's telling you something. There is no such thing as coincidence. If you're seeing something and then it turns up somewhere else, that's a message for you, and you need to be picking up on that. That's when the universe is starting to say, oi, you're not paying attention. Here you go. Now, it could show up in ways of, a telephone call, an internet search. You might get someone mention something in a conversation. You go, oh, I've read that somewhere. I've heard that somewhere before. And it's something you should be paying attention to. What does it mean? What does this coincidence mean? And I also think the same probably with deja vu as well. You're getting a message come through. Hi, Kristen, I can see you here. Great to have you on the call. So I really want you to pay attention to those subtle signs. Don't just brush them off. They've been sent to you for a reason. And I do believe that if we are not paying enough attention, the universe, God, source, the divine, whatever, the angels, whatever you want to think of it as, is going, wait, over here, I'm trying to tell you this, I'm trying to show you this, pay attention, notice what's going on. Numbers are showing up all the time, we know about the 1111, don't we, most of us? That's why we charge 1111 for this group, because it's got this beautiful vibrational frequency around that number. And if you don't know what it means, please do go and Google it, because I think you'll really enjoy what that means. And anytime you see numbers repeated, go and find out their meaning, because they do have a meaning. All right. So what else was I going to talk about with you today? I think that was it, actually. It was the coincidences and the deja vus, and just noticing what's going on. And also, I want to talk about when you get these feelings of intuition. This is it. How do you know the difference between intuition and what could just be a thought conjured up by your conscious mind? How do you know the difference? Okay, there are a few ways. So firstly, intuition is quite often the very first thing you think or feel when something comes up. Okay, it's usually that very first, that what they call the gut feeling, right? That is usually your intuition. Okay, but also I want you to notice how you feel. Okay, so if it's like maybe a thought, so it's less of a reaction to something, but it's something that's coming in, that's tuning in. It's normally a feeling of serenity around that. Okay, so if it's like an idea, or your intuition is saying you need to do this, but you feel calm about it, you feel like, oh yes, You know, it's going back to that cognizance, it's that inner knowing, but there's a calmness about it. There's no frantic feelings around intuitive feedback. Now, a little way down the line, you might start thinking, I feel a little bit nervous about doing that, but you know that that is a fear response. You know, and again, I just want to call your attention to your initial feeling, because the initial feeling will always be, that's what I need to do. And I feel calm about that. I feel, you know, that's good. Later on, your conscious mind might try and talk you out of it, but you know when you know. Just as a final little throwaway on this, and I know Michael Jackson has been in the press, so it's probably not the greatest example, because he's had some very negative press around him. I'm not going to go into that at all, but he used to apparently phone up his manager in the middle of the night with an idea for a song, and he'd say, no, if I don't do this song, Prince will get it. And there is this belief that if you are delivered inspiration and you don't act on it, that someone else will get the inspiration. Hi, Laura. That it will go to somebody else. So you need to take, it's being delivered to you. Your responsibility is to take the action required, right? That's all you have to do, because when you take that action, then the next bout of inspiration will come through to show you the next step. Then the next step. You have to trust. You have to trust that the next step will gently unfold. It will gently reveal itself. And even if you're going one step at a time and you're going, I don't really know where this is leading me, just trust that it's leading you somewhere, and the next step will be revealed. Okay. And I know, Laura, you're doing that. So that's wonderful. Just wait and see what the next thing is. Maybe it's crystals for you. I think you're going to be doing something with those. So just trust in what is happening and act on it. And I just want to talk about a little bit of intuitive flow as well. Just lately, I've been getting, in the middle of the night, I get these intuitive flows, and all of a sudden I get this thought come into my head. If I've woken up to go to the toilet or something, and a thought pops in, and I go, right, okay, I'm just laying there. I think, okay, I can remember that. I can remember that for the morning. And then more stuff just keeps coming in. Oh God, I've got to get up and write this down. Otherwise, it's going to disappear. I'm going to lose it. So I don't want to lose it. Hello, Dad. I don't want to lose it. And that's what I did. So you've probably seen, if you do follow me on Facebook, that I put a couple of posts up lately, which are quite thought-provoking and punchy. And I did one this morning as well with the Thelma and Louise picture on the intuitive marketer versus the gurus. I had a lot of fun doing that one. But that had just flowed out. It was just like, oh, I've got this idea. I need to get it out there. And that's what happened. I took action immediately. So I'm excited to see what that's going to cause, because I feel I'm getting so clear on the messaging that I'm using now. And I've got to be honest, when Aliki and I started this group, we didn't really know where we were going with it, you know, and we love everybody who took the initial leap of faith and joined us in our first month, because we had ideas, but we didn't know where it's leading it. But I can tell you through experience of jumping on that inspiration of doing this group, then just trusting that the next steps are going to reveal themselves. That's what has been happening. And it's great because we're working with you. We're not trying to say, right, this is how it should be. We are working in the way that we are teaching you to work, right? We are leading by example by saying, okay, we don't, you know, we're being honest with you. We don't entirely know how this is going to look, but we're just going to go with it. We're going to roll with it. And you guys have had enough faith to join us on the journey. And I want to say thank you for that, because it's been an amazing ride. Not that it's over, it's nowhere near over. We're just warming up, guys. So you know, I just want to say that. And yes, thanks, Laura. Yeah, it is brilliant. It's really cool, isn't it? It's great when you're working from intuition and inspiration, because it's fun. It is so much fun, and it doesn't feel like a risk in you know, the traditional risk taking way. Is like, oh, I'm not sure about this. It's a fun risk, and you're not really losing anything by doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I know, Laura, you do. I know you're just jumping in and embracing it fully, but it's exciting and it's fun, and that's what we're going for. That's the vibration it should be. It should be joyful. It should feel aligned. And when you are acting on intuition, when you are following your inspiration, that is what happens. So that's it. That's the end of my little intuition mini series. And I hope you guys got a ton of value, and that you can now recognize what it looks like, that you know the difference between intuition and conscious thought, and you know how it feels, because the crux of it is that is what it's all about. It's how it feels inside. I've thoroughly enjoyed delivering this to you guys, and we'll look forward to seeing what comes up next week. Aliki and I have things planned, so I'm not going to tell you what they are. You'll just have to wait and see. And I will see you all soon. Take care, guys. Mwah! Bye-bye.